Hey guys, be here with our next Teen LibCrates talk on this beautiful Wednesday. It is so nice outside. If you haven't had a chance to go outside yet, you should do it because it is just beautiful. So today is our last day talking about Contagion by Aaron Bowman. And so that means that next week we are going to start our discussion of our next title, which is A Thousand Beginnings and Endings, which is edited by Ellen O. It's an anthology of different short stories based on Asian mythology and folklore, and it's by a lot of different authors who, yeah, it's just a range of different authors writing these stories. So I'm pretty excited about it. And the LibCrates are ready now, so you can go pick yours up today. And yeah, we'll be ready to go next week. But for today, oh my goodness. So where we ended off, I had so many questions. Do you remember that? I had all the questions, like what is going on with Cohen? Is Lisbeth immune? Is she immune? We're going to find out today. And so, a true story is that there are going to be some spoilers in today's talk. So, if you don't want to hear spoilers, then I would recommend not listening. So, where we begin, Dylan, Nova, and Thea are in the rover and they're making it back, their way back to the Celestial Envoy after Cleaver, poor Cleaver, and Cohen fall off of the rover. And so they go back to the Celestial Envoy and they meet up with Lisbeth Tarlo and they find out that Lisbeth has the infection. She's infected. She's been infected since she was 10 years old. So we learn that this bacteria, it's a bacteria that is afflicting these people. If it goes into your system when you are still developing, so like a kid or a teenager, then instead of overtaking your body and like going after, making you go after other people to spread it, it just like makes you superhuman. So you like heal really fast and your senses are heightened and it's a whole thing. And Cohen is really concerned about some people thinking that they can try to harness this as a weapon of sorts to do what people do with weapons, right? So, yeah, they go back and find out that Tarlo's just doing her thing. She's fine. For the moment, because Dylan just up and shoots her out of nowhere. Well, that's a lie. It wasn't out of nowhere. Dylan found out that Dr. Tarlo was infected and had the pistol from Evans and shot her. Shot Dr. Tarlo, and so Dr. Tarlo is no more, which is really sad. So, after that, let's see, I'm reading my notes. Please bear with me. Oh yeah, so Cohen, we find out that Cohen is infected also. And so because Cohen and Dr. Tarlo are both infected, they can talk to each other telepathically, which is wild. That's crazy. I thought that was really interesting. Okay, so they're in the Celestial Envoy, and they're trying to make it to the short-range shuttle so that they can escape from the planet and hopefully be safe, right? Um, and so while they're on the Celestial Envoy, Dylan and Nova are trying to get to the shuttle, and they realize that Toby, one of the newerly, more freshly infected people, um, has come back to the Celestial Envoy. And because he just turned, he's not like a zombie or anything, but like because he's recently infected, he still has like most of his mental faculties, so he can like think more and do things, can manipulate things. And so he lets in some folks, some of the infected, onto the Celestial Envoy. And so now everyone's kind of running for their lives to try to outrun this horde of infected people that are coming after them. So Dylan and Toby get into a scuffle, and Toby ends up scratching her. But Nova is in denial. She's like, maybe Dylan is just fine. Maybe Dylan got scratched by like some machinery. Dylan's probably fine. Spoiler, Dylan is not fine. Dylan is not fine at all. But Nova is convinced that she is. And so Nova helps Dylan get to the escape shuttle. And they meet up with Cohen and Thea. And Cohen and Thea have their own thing to go through because the infected have found them as well. And so they're like running through the vents to try to escape from the infected. And Thea and Cohen are speculating on whether or not Thea is infected because Thea hasn't been scratched or anything. But Cohen, if you'll remember, way back when Thea got lost in the storm and she went to the bunker and flipped the switch and she was resuscitated by Cohen, the theory is that the bacteria may be transferred through the saliva of doing the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And so they're like trying to figure out if Thea is infected as well. Oh, and also during all of this, Cohen and Thea have initiated the shuttle self-destruct sequence, so the whole ship is about to go up in smoke. So, all of that to say, they get to the escape shuttles, and the four of them, Cohen, Thea, Nova, and Dylan, hop onto the shuttle, and they take off right in the nick of time. The Celestial Envoy explodes, and they're safe for the moment until they realize that Dylan is in fact infected, and they have to basically eject her from the shuttle, which is really sad. But they really didn't have a choice. They really just didn't have a choice. So Nova is really in her feelings about this because, as you'll recall, Nova had some feelings for Dylan, and so Nova's taking it really hard, and so she decides to go into the cryo chamber to go to sleep until they're rescued, because their options are they're going to intercept the backup that's coming to the planet, or they're, going to run out of resources and perish. So Nova decides that she's going to go into the cryo chamber and see what happens. And while she's under, the escape shuttle is hailed by a battleship called UBS Paramount, and so Thea and Cohen, we find out that Thea is actually infected, but we don't know that yet. So, but Thea and Cohen make this pact to tell a falsehood to the people that are rescuing them, so that um, Cohen can get off of the planet without much scrutiny, right? And, however, we find out that at the self-destruct sequence, all of the data on the ship got backed up, and everyone, all of the military personnel on the UBS Paramount knows everything. They know everything. So they know that Thea and Cohen are lying, and they take them into custody, and yeah, it turns out that there might be some radicals on this ship, and the radicals may be wanting to harness the superhuman strength stuff from the planet. So we're left on a bit of a cliffhanger because we don't know what exactly is going to happen when the book ends. So if you are interested in reading the second book, it's called Immunity, and we have it at the library, and you are welcome to come pick it up, check it out, and read it, and see how the story ends, how the duology ends, the whole story. So at the end of the story, Thea and Cohen are talking to each other telepathically, trying to come up with a plan to escape their bondage. And so, yeah, I I'm really curious to know what happens next. So maybe I'll check out the book and read it. So yeah, what a wild ride, guys! What a wild ride Contagion was. That was a lot of action, a lot of fast-paced, thrilling adventure. That was really good, don't you think? I really like that one. So, I'd love to know what you thought about the book. Feel free to send me a message or drop a comment. Did you like it? Did you like it too? Let me know. I would love to know. In the meantime, until next week, be safe, be kind, wash your hands, and we'll see you next Wednesday for Team LibCrates Talk. Okay, bye, guys.